Homecoming has come and gone once again, and we were there every step of the way. Welcome back to Lariat TV News. I'm Katie Kemp.
Yeah, and I'm George Schroeder. We're bringing you a special edition Monday newscast in case you missed any of the homecoming action, and we're starting with a rescheduled bonfire.
The homecoming bonfire is one of Baylor's longest-standing traditions, but this year it almost didn't happen. On Friday night, rain poured down on campus, causing the bonfire to be canceled, but was put back on the following day. Students and alumni gathered together to see the flames on Fountain Mall. And although there was a lower turnout than previous years, the bonfire still unites the Baylor family and welcomes alumni back home.
I was going to come to the bonfire yesterday, and this is one of my favorite traditions that I was really looking forward to. So I'm super glad we get to have it tonight because a bunch of my friends and I came down 2 nights ago to sign the bonfire piles, and it was so much fun.
There's nothing quite like the oldest and largest collegiate homecoming parade in the nation. Dating as far back as 1909, it's captured family stories for over 100 years. Hannah Joseph brings you one of them.
It's easy to overlook the small details when attending the oldest collegiate homecoming parade in America. But for one family, it was more than just a return to Waco.
We try to make it as often as we can because it is a gathering of the Baylor family together and reminds us so much of the traditions that we loved when we were students here.
And now they are sharing it with the ones they love most.
We've been able to bring our 5 kids to it for the first time in a long time. I met my husband John at Baylor, so homecoming's a really special time, not just for our family, but coming back to old friendships and just having fun seeing old acquaintances that we haven't seen in a long time.
This sense of connection extends beyond the Fitzwater family.
I met my spouse here, and we love coming back for football games and sporting events and cheering for the Bears. And then also we each have a brother and a sister that went to Baylor, and they met their spouses here as well. So it's just really fun to have everybody so connected to Baylor and being able to cheer on the Bears.
It seems as though that Baylor homecoming in itself serves as a remembrance of friendship and loved ones. For Lariat TV News, I'm Hannah Joseph.
Fellowship and community are hallmarks of Singspiration, and it's bringing students and alumni together for worship for 75 years now. The 75th anniversary of Singspiration kicked off Friday night, featuring choral music from a variety of styles, performances from the BRH choir, and a cappella groups. If you ask the choir for homecoming, everything fell into place.
Like, it's very easy, I guess, to put this all together just because it feels so natural. Like, worship is just our natural response to God's goodness in our life. And so it just makes it very easy to rehearse both the congregational pieces and then BRH's songs, a cappella songs as well, and just to bring it all together and just to share this with the Baylor community and just have this beautiful time together.
Now, it may not be as mainstream as all of Baylor's homecoming traditions, but Singspiration shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. After being absent in Sing for 3 years, one fraternity said they never thought they'd make it back to Pigskin. But Caitlin's Side shows you how Sigma Chi made it to Waco Hall for homecoming.
Pigskin has been a long-standing Baylor tradition where the top 8 sing acts are chosen to perform, and Sigma Chi never thought they would receive the chance, especially after taking a 3-year break.
I mean, I sort of thought this year would be like an ease into sing. Like, my main goal was just to not embarrass ourselves on stage.
The 7-minute act titled The Good, the Bad, and the Funky explores the theme of a Western movie set and is the first time the group has performed in Pigskin since 2001.
It starts getting fun, and then especially after doing the first performance and then realizing how ecstatic it is on stage, just you can feel the energy just everywhere, that this is something that you are going to crave for the rest of your life.
The Sing Chairs had stated that they didn't have the choreography solidified until after the first couple of shows, and that the majority of the chapter had never done Sing.
It was hectic because it was crunch time. It was like 2 days before the deadline for a theme submission, and we didn't really have anything.
When it was announced they made Pigskin, the Sing Chairs were in disbelief and felt all the excitement that their hard work had finally paid off.
So we start walking away, and then they called Sigma Chi, and we all looked at each other and we were like, did that actually happen?
We couldn't even hear, we were not even listening to what they were saying on stage because we were just so in shock and disbelief that we had actually made it.
Sigma Chi has been performing these acts all weekend, and they hope to continue to make Pigskin in the future. For Lariat TV News, I'm Caitlin Sides.
One homecoming celebration brought old pigskin costumes, photographs, Letterman jackets, and cookie recipes from the 1920s to life. The Texas Collection hosted their very first homecoming open house Friday afternoon to showcase Baylor artifacts from the last 100 years. Director Jeff Pirtle said he hopes that the open house will become a new, long-standing tradition.
And what a great opportunity to not only celebrate our 100th anniversary, but also engage with so many Baylor alumni, students, faculty here at the Texas Collection for Homecoming.
We're shaking things up this week, but coming up, homecoming continues with Baylor Athletics. Sports is coming up next.
Let there be light. Let there be roommates and teammates and strangers who become family. Let there be marching and cheering. Let there be challenging courses and time to share. Scholarship and championships. Let there be groundbreaking and soul-searching. Let there be laughter. Let there be joy. Let there be light.
Baylor football took another tough loss this weekend versus Iowa State, dropping their record to 3-5. LTVN's Claire Marie Scott takes you through the Bears' not-so-happy homecoming.
Rain came pouring on Baylor's homecoming game Saturday, with football continuing their home losing streak. Iowa State beat the Bears 30-18. The Bears have lost 7 straight home games to FBS opponents, continuing their losing streak from last year.
At home and not executing that is definitely frustrating, and it hurts because we want to show our fans and we want to show Baylor University what we're about, because we represent them.
Baylor has won both of their away games this season, which has raised questions as to why there has been 5 losses in Waco.
When you're on the road, you're kind of a little more on the edge and feel like it's kind of you versus the world. So this week we're just trying to create that same feeling of just basically not getting too comfortable at home and going out there still like we got something to prove, and just really trying to play for each other. And it's still a work in progress and didn't go the way we wanted today, but we're going to keep working at it.
Iowa State came out swinging, getting an early lead in the first half. Baylor scored 2 touchdowns in the second half, but it wasn't enough to keep up.
It's coming out of halftime that we were ready for to take advantage of them. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to executing, honestly, and just making the plays when you can. And we didn't do that early enough to start the game and kind of set us back, and we ended up playing from behind once again.
Star freshman running back Dawson Pendergrass gave the team some uplifting by rushing for 37 yards and scoring 2 TDs.
To see him just to not go down and to fight through tackles and playing physical, it kind of gives us a boost, and it's like, okay, if he's willing to put his shoulder down, why not let's go block for him and give him something going. So I think Dawson, he's been great. He's a great future ahead of him.
Coach Aranda acknowledged that there was a lot of pain and agony in the locker room, but is focused on keeping the team together by looking at the positives.
It's hard to see in the cloud of the losing, but there's progress in little areas. And so to see that kind of that shimmer of that light and not get pulled into a darkness is the fight for us as coaches.
Next week, the Bears will take on Houston on the Brazos at 2:30. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Marie Scott.
Since the opening of the McLean Stadium and the surrounding event space, tailgating is a tradition that has only grown at Baylor. It wasn't even until the 2000s the pregame ritual started at the Floyd Casey Stadium, when a group of students figured out how to get space for a trailer before the game. Ever since that day, tailgating has been helping students and faculty come together to decompress and build meaningful relationships.
Several dimensions of connectedness at the tailgate, and that was our gathering spot. That was where we gathered, and we could count on it too. So if I hadn't talked to somebody in 3 months, I would get an email or I would send a text out to folks like, hey, I'm going to be at the game. I'll see you there if you guys can make it. And so we'd communicate. It would allow for that communication as well. So that was cool.
And tailgating is still alive and thriving, reconnecting friends and families from all across the Baylor community and the country. Baylor volleyball is deep in conference play and trying to stay above the board. Gearing up to face Oklahoma at home Wednesday, the Bears' record stands at only 6-5 in the Big 12. The team is coming off a pair of losses to Texas and Austin, but before those, they dominated the University of Central Florida. Consistency and constant communication worked in their favor. LTVN's Jera Cottingham serves you the Bears' last sweep.
Baylor volleyball wins 3-0 Sunday against the University of Central Florida with a consistent defense and offense. The team had 13 blocks, intimidating UCF's hitting strength.
Limits how hard they're swinging, and then we can get some more roll shots or tips because they're trying to score other ways, and it kind of contributes to our offense. But yeah, 13 blocks was huge, and that's only 3 sets. Love the blocking, and then just our hit percentage. Elise was great yesterday, hitting high clip, but less than 10% error. That's something we're trying to do.
Recent practice discussion has been focusing on minimizing errors.
We're always talking about how do we limit errors, what could you have done differently? Just incentivizing that, during practice plays, and then obviously in the game, okay, how do I manage? And then our coaches did a great job on the game plan and where we can play shots from there.
Baylor's front row aimed to maintain increased net communication.
I think everyone at the net took it upon themselves, made it personal, and then the blocking was a result.
We know that, okay, we got to prepare like we have the past weeks and then just be 1% better every day in practice.
They are indeed getting better and maturing to strongly showcase their talent from point one to point win.
No one wants to go to 4th set, no one wants to go to 5th set, anything can happen. And so we know UCF is good. It's okay, we need to finish it this one, and everyone was dialed in and focused, and I feel like that speaks to our maturity a lot.
Setter Avery Carlson played a good job moving the ball around, leading to Coach McGuire being pleased with the team's defense and serve receive. It capitalized their ability to keep leads.
It contributed to the efficiency for sure.
Our passes have been absolutely killing it, so I think just moving forward in that, and then whenever we're out of system, just taking care of the ball and putting it away.
Baylor volleyball faces Texas and Gregory Gymnasium in Austin on October 26th at 7 p.m. At Farrell Center for Lariat TV News, I'm Jera Cottingham.
Pickleball is making a comeback, especially on Baylor's campus, and the Pickleball Club took on the Longhorns and Crusaders in their first tournament.
I did not expect it to be this serious. I mean, there's 100+ people here today, so that's really cool.
Baylor's Pickleball Club took on UT and UMHB in an intercollegiate tournament on Saturday. This tournament is the club's first inaugural event following pickleball's rapid growth in the Texas college scene.
So I think eventually in the future there'll be a lot more tournaments and colleges will travel to the other colleges, especially here in Texas since we're all so close to each other.
Baylor Green ended up taking home the win. But even with the high competitive atmosphere, handshakes, conversations, and a love for pickleball was shared amongst the 3 schools.
We get to meet them too, talking to UT guys and girls is really fun. So
it's no longer just your grandpa's sport, and some are hopeful that there is an even bigger future for pickleball.
I bet it could be a Division I sport for sure. I mean, collegiate athletics, it's just continuing to grow, and this would be something that would optimize that and just give students the chance to play a different sport.
But for now, students are patiently waiting and honing in on their skills.
Might as well get good at it before it gets big,
With an increase in intercollegiate tournaments just like this one and a growing love for the sport amongst college students, maybe pickleball could eventually go D1. For Lariat TV News, I'm Abby Ferguson.
Baylor athletics went through a quiet stretch over the last several weeks, but as seasons wind down and new seasons spark up, we've got you covered. That wraps up sports this week, but keep it right here as we move into more of the news you need to know. We'll be right back.
Milk Monday brought the freshman class together over the past few weeks, but the odd competition has since been banned from campus due to various concerns. LTVN's Claire Goodyear tells you more.
Penland Dining Hall was eerily quiet on Monday night, leaving 3 students to drink their milk alone.
I'm Reed. I'm Will. I'm Jake.
And we're some of the founding fathers of Milk Monday. The founding fathers.
At the peak of its fame, Milk Monday was suddenly shut down.
Unfortunately, we are in violation of some health and safety protocols which we are notified of in an email from Baylor, and they forced us to disband Milk Monday.
I don't necessarily blame Baylor, but it's very sad nonetheless. And I think the student body would agree with it.
The competition had become a popular event on campus, but right before its cancellation, Milk Monday was gaining the attention from outside sponsors.
We had a place in Union Hall reach out to us. We had a dairy company reach out to us. Just wanted to set up meetings, talk about it, discuss the future of Milk Monday and the possibility of a sponsorship, but we did not get to see that come to fruition, unfortunately.
Although the future of Milk Monday was bright, many of their plans will remain unfinished.
The Milk Championship, we had it planned December 4th. All the founding fathers were excited. We were going to have a Milk Mile. Everyone on campus was going to be invited. It was going to be a campus-wide event. But, unfortunately, we don't get to have that community bonding experience now. So.
The end of Milk Monday has saddened many, especially founder and past competitor Will Mittig.
I'm truly heartbroken. It bonded us all together. It gave culture to Baylor. And, it just inspired lots of people. And I just feel like it's a piece of my heart that's missing.
Monday nights might not be the same anymore, but the legacy of Milk Monday will surely not be forgotten. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Goodyear.
As Mental Health Awareness Month comes to a close, one Baylor student who's also a former Miss United Teen World shares her story. LTVN's Danica Young brings you a triumph over an immense struggle.
At the age of 11, my dad passed away from suicide, unfortunately. I remember that morning I was going to school and I went and hugged him and I was like, bye, I love you, I'll see you after school.
And she never did.
It's been 9 years since we lost Keegan's dad, and we're all still filled with regret, questions, and missing him tremendously.
After her dad's passing, Keegan struggled with her own mental health.
I always promised myself from a young age I would never let myself get to the point my dad did. And I was at that point and it was scary.
And she still battles her mental health daily.
It's not something that just goes away forever. You still struggle with it every day. Some days are worse than others.
But her and her family have made it their mission to spread awareness.
There's no reason to struggle alone, and no one is going to judge you. Not the people that care about you are not going to judge you for reaching out for help.
Since winning her title as Miss United Teen World, Keegan wants to help people like her overcome their struggles.
People really, truly care about you. They would rather help you through a dark situation than be sitting at your funeral. That's what it is.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, visit the Baylor Counseling Center or call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. For Lariat TV News, I'm Danica Young.
Tarantulas, alligators, and snakes in Waco? Oh my. Macy Krause shows you how the Herp's Exotic Reptile and Pet Expo gathered hundreds of people with one thing in common, a love for the uncommon.
Here at the Waco Convention Center, some animals are finding their forever home, and that's because the hundreds gathered with a love for cold-blooded creatures.
I like watching when somebody's scared of a snake and they buy one from me after I let them hold it for a while.
From reptiles and amphibians to small mammals, fanfare at the Herp Reptile Expo makes sure that each animal gets their share in the spotlight.
I like the frogs and the lizards. I like the lizards, not the snakes.
Did you get to hold it? That's the coolest thing about it.
I about their skin. You get to hold it. Yeah. And they're slimy. And ladies look at them, and there's a lot of...
We got stuff from Asia, South America, Africa. This right here is a South American Cuvier's dwarf caiman. You will not find one of these naturally living in the wild. There's so much variety here because everybody that's behind one of these tables in their own booth is into different stuff. So I like variety. I like a little everything. Some of these guys like ball pythons. Some of these people like birds. Really just kind of depends. So.
It's one of the largest expos in the United States, bringing together a variety of animals from exotic places and catering the needs like food and supplies to the vertebrate community.
They make great pets. They're the dog and cats of reptiles. They love to hang out with people. I always tell everyone that make sure you have enough time because they're going to want to come out and hang out with you.
Herp Reptile Fair organizers are already booking for 2025, bringing the expo to across Oklahoma, Louisiana, and different parts of Texas on the weekends. For Lariat TV News, I'm Macy Krause.
If you happen to be on the first floor of the sub and you walk right past the food court, chances are you will end up right at the Department of Multicultural Affairs. It may not sound like much, but they finally got to add another room to their committee. The long-awaited expansion is aiding in the department's mission and helping to create a safe space for students.
We have a Black Student Coalition intern, Coalition of Asian Students, and then our Latinx intern as well. And so they have a space where they get to come and meet with different student organizations, collaborate, plan events together. It's just a really cool space to see them be able to kind of own the space and thrive and use it as an opportunity to collaborate, as I mentioned.
To find out more about Baylor's Multicultural Affairs Department, you can visit multicultural@baylor.edu. From singing in the rain to Rihanna's umbrella, Dancing with the Waco Stars could not have been more extravagant and diverse. Thursday, the acts did not disappoint. Working with the Family Abuse Center, the Waco Hippodrome Theater hosted Dancing with the Waco Stars, forwarding the community's invested efforts to eliminating domestic violence.
What we discovered, I used to be on the board at the Family Abuse Center, and we discovered that this is the best education venue we have. People learn about this facility, doctors learn about it, and then when they have patients that they know need it, they already know about it. That's been so great.
With so much going on in the Baylor bubble and around Waco, it's important to stay tuned in to the Baylor Lariat for the news you need to know.
We hope you had a happy homecoming, Baylor family. We'll see you again Friday for our regularly scheduled newscast. Until then, have a great week, and as always, Sic 'em Bears.